Hello guys, we are starting the third and last week of these summer vacations. This week we will talk about regenerative finance, which I basically summarize as how to develop as a society in a more environmentally friendly way. I want to summarize the 2 weeks very quickly. The first thing is to remind you that artificial intelligence is a tool that, if we know how to use it, can become an expansion of our mind. And the second is that blockchain represents the opportunity to build a safer and more transparent digital world for everyone. Let's start with this week of REFI, sustainability or sustainability. Today we are going to explore our amazing home, planet Earth, and how we can take better care of it. We will discover what natural resources are and why they are so important to us. We will also talk about the ecological footprint, which shows us how our actions impact the environment. Let's start by understanding what natural resources are. Natural resources are things we find in nature and use every day. These resources include the water we drink, the air we breathe, the trees that give us wood, the minerals we extract from the earth, and much more. Without them, we couldn't live. Natural resources are divided into two main types: renewable and non-renewable. Renewable resources, such as the sun, food, and water, can regenerate or never run out. For example, the sun always shines and food is grown. On the other hand, non-renewable resources, such as oil, coal, and minerals, exist in limited quantities and can be depleted. Once we use them, they cannot be easily replaced. Every day, we use many natural resources without realizing it. For example, every time you drink a glass of water, you are using a natural resource. The food we eat, such as fruits and vegetables, grows in the ground. The wood we use to build houses and furniture comes from trees. Everything is connected to nature. Even though these resources have the ability to regenerate, they are currently under threat, which puts the planet at risk of deterioration. The problem is that sometimes we use these natural resources at a very fast rate, faster than nature can replenish them. We cut down too many trees, extract too many minerals, and use too much water. This can harm nature and make it harder for future generations to have what they need. When we consume excessively, we put the sustainability of our planet at risk. When we consume too much, the planet suffers. Rivers and lakes get polluted with chemicals and trash. The air fills with smoke and toxic gases, and many animals lose their homes due to deforestation and habitat destruction. Additionally, climate change worsens, causing problems like droughts, stronger storms, and the disappearance of species. This is where the ecological footprint comes into play. The ecological footprint is a way to measure how much our activities impact the environment. It's like a calculator that tells us how many natural resources we are using and how much land and water we need to produce the goods and services we consume and to absorb the waste we generate. The ecological footprint is important because it helps us understand if we are using natural resources sustainably. If the ecological footprint of a population is greater than the biocapacity of its environment, the capacity of ecosystems to regenerate resources, then that population is living unsustainably. This means we are using more than what Earth can provide. There are several factors that affect our ecological footprint. Lifestyle, the level of consumption of food, energy, water, and other resources has a direct impact on the ecological footprint. A more sustainable lifestyle reduces the footprint. Technology, the efficiency in resource use and the adoption of clean technologies can decrease the ecological footprint. Population. The size of the population affects the total demand for resources. The larger the population, the greater the ecological footprint if sustainable practices are not adopted. At Biolumen, we are dedicated to developing land protection models using disruptive technologies such as artificial intelligence and blockchain. Our project is rooted in a territory located in Salento, Quindío, specifically in the San Juan de Carolina village, where the San Pedro farm, the main headquarters of our initiative, is located. Our goal is for this innovative model to be replicated worldwide. In previous classes, we showed you the typical coffee farm and the upper part of the mountain where a primary Andean forest is located. Now we are exploring a secondary forest, which is part of the primary forest we visited in the last class. In this natural environment, we are undertaking an ambitious environmental project to protect 13 hectares of forest. At Biolumen, we conduct conservation and restoration activities to increase the biological indicators of this ecosystem. This means that we plant native species of the Andean forest to increase the abundance of native flora and also reproduce species that are in danger of extinction. Each of these activities is recorded using blockchain technology, ensuring that the collected information is always traceable and accessible to everyone. Blockchain technology allows us to record each conservation and restoration activity transparently and securely. This means that anyone interested can verify and access information about the progress and actions taken in the project. The traceability offered by blockchain is crucial to ensure data integrity and foster trust in our practices. We are developing an artificial intelligence model that helps us simulate the forest. This tool allows us to make smarter decisions with the goal of achieving ecosystem benefits. By simulating different scenarios and analyzing the collected data, we can predict how the forest will respond to various interventions and thus optimize our conservation and restoration strategies. This entire process is validated and audited by you, our community. We conduct participatory monitoring cycles, which means we involve the local community in activities to quantify the forest's fauna and flora. In this way, we not only increase the accuracy of our data, but also foster a sense of responsibility and collaboration in protecting the natural environment. Similarly, we want to create initiatives of this kind where the international community can accompany us throughout the process virtually. It's not all about conservation and restoration, it's also necessary to use and transform resources sustainably. Therefore, we have incorporated a third pillar into our project, where we focus on planting medicinal plants and producing natural products. This initiative not only contributes to the local economy, but also promotes the responsible use of available natural resources. Similarly, for this pillar, we use blockchain technology to trace the supply chain of our products, making it easier to measure the ecological footprint generated by the transformation and commercialization activity. This third pillar can have the greatest positive impact on the environment, and we hope it will be replicated more quickly worldwide. Our transformation model focuses on the sustainable use of natural resources. The main objective of this model is to measure and mitigate the ecological footprint generated by the production and consumption of products, using traceability of the entire supply chain, and adopting various measures to offset this footprint through conservation and restoration plans. Our model uses blockchain technology to ensure the traceability of each stage of the production process, from obtaining raw materials to the final product reaching the consumer's hands. To better understand how our transformation model works, let's look at a practical example. You go to the supermarket and buy a pair of sneakers. With our blockchain traceability model, the company that produces these sneakers can measure the ecological footprint of the product at each stage of its production. This includes the environmental impact of the materials used, the manufacturing process, transportation, and distribution. The model allows you as consumers to be more aware of the environmental impact of the product you are buying. Information about the ecological footprint of the sneakers would be available to you, enabling you to make informed and responsible decisions. But our model goes beyond just measuring the ecological footprint. It also provides a mechanism for companies to offset this footprint by actively participating in our conservation and restoration programs. In case a company does not offset the ecological footprint of its products, you, as consumers, have the option to do so. you can participate in our conservation and restoration programs to offset the ecological footprint of the products you consume. This not only helps to reduce environmental impact, but also contributes to the construction of a more regenerative, sustainable, and resilient planet.